Hey, Taylor-tots. Got one question for you. Do you believe in ghosts? Hey, everybody. I had this on my brain today, and I ended up watching something on YouTube that, it prompted me to want to talk to you about this. You heard from the beginning, girl. My question is, do you believe in ghosts? I personally definitely believe in ghosts. And this is going to sound kind of crazy. I went to sleep and I woke up like this. And I think that I finally understand the meaning of Beyonce's song. I didn't do my makeup. I woke up looking like this. This is crazy. It's the most natural and nude lip I think I've ever worn. It is just nuts. Okay, all seriousness though. So I am asking because I will tell you, I'm going to tell you about a story, okay, that has happened to me. This isn't going to be a super long night. We're going to keep it cute, girl. We're going to keep it cute. So, when I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, was roommates with this fabulous guy. We're still really great friends. He's one of my besties, honey. His name is Michael Jarvis, or Aaliyah Holmes is his drag name. And when I moved to Atlanta, he was like, hey, girl, move in. We met in Tampa when we were, he was there watching the pageant. It was a Miss US of A prelim in Tampa in Ybor City. And it happened to be during Gasparilla. And if you don't know what Gasparilla is almost like a Mardi Gras, but for the Tampa Bay area. So when we got there, I had never met Jarvis before. And I was actually dancing for Trinity the Tug Taylor in her pageant. So I had this giant afro on and all this stuff, and they told me to go out looking like really like passable. Put it this way, I was supposed to look like a woman. But all I can say is when you want to go out looking like a woman, they're going to treat you like a woman, honey. And it was so funny because it was the first time I actually hung out with Jarvis, and he was like, you know what, why don't you move to Atlanta and be my roommate? And I said, you know what, to be honest with you, I don't really think that I want to move to Atlanta. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence. Put in perspective for you, my mom had just passed away. So that ended up being my deciding factors, because I was like, you know what, let me just move. So he tells me he was going to have a 2-bedroom apartment by the time I get there. And that was part of the stipulation. Little air in here, girl. He was not right. He was not correct. So Michael Jarvis's drag name is also Aaliyah Holmes. So this is actually a video of him when I dressed him for EOI, or Entertainer of the Year, FI, which is female impersonator. So he did such a great job. But the thing is like when I first moved here, honey, he was Bustella McCree, girl. We all start off somewhere, girl. But I was like, honey. So when I say we all start off somewhere, this also is going to pertain to what he made me live in. So I show up to Atlanta, which is located on 10th and Piedmont of where he's living. They had taken this house, okay, and created rooms with their own entrances. So it made it their own, pretty much, studio apartment. Girl! Okay. So, literally, I show up at his place, okay? He has a bed, and then right next to the bed is a couch, and the couch pulls out into a queen-size bed. Girl, I was like, are you kidding me? What happened to having a 2-bedroom apartment, girl? And he said, I'm sorry I couldn't afford it. And I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I need a fresh start. I'm just trying to stop thinking about my mom passing away and really changing things up and changing the scenery and just having a new start. So I literally moved there, and he's like, don't worry about it. I got you. We're going to have fun. We're going to love it. You're going to help me with drag. And I was like, great. I'm going to help you with drag. I'm like, I to be honest with you, when people ask you to constantly help them in drag, you're like, ugh. But you want to see if they're going to put the effort in first. And when I tell you, Jarvis definitely put the effort in. He can't dance for shit, but he definitely is trying, girl. He was trying the house down. Now, the video I just showed you of him in the mermaid outfit, that was him in gown. That was creative evening wear for EOI. And I will tell you, he looked beautiful. But girl, it didn't always look like that, honey. And when I tell you, I told him the first place I moved into with him in Atlanta was about as busted as his drag, girl. When he first started, all I have to say, choose your friends wisely. Because they had him looking crazy as hell. Now, he's still a best friend of mine. So, again, Jarvis, you know you're on here, Aaliyah Holmes, girl. You know I love you, bitch, because if I didn't, I wouldn't have been there painting your face. But you done got me together on this damn apartment, okay? So my other friends that I knew before I moved, they actually came to visit, and they called it the Kindling House. Because it looked like if you light a match just right, that whole place is going up in flames. It's going to be like this. Done. I mean, it's going to be done, girl. I mean, it was that rickety. Like, we were walking up the stairs that were made out of metal, and they broke while walking up. And I know I'm a plus size girl, but that made me feel real big. I was like, honey. So, to get to the point of why I went through this entire story to get where I'm at now when we're talking about ghost, okay? So, one night, okay, Jarvis, let's just say he was popular, and he would have guests from time to time. Because he was a girl in demand. Let's just say that. And, not in a bad way, okay? He was a lot more confident in himself and his body than I was. So there's no shame in that. I'm just being very transparent. I'm not going to shame anybody for living their life and having a great time, because guess what? Not all of us do that. We all have our phases. It is what it is, girl. Do your gigs, girl. But one night, so he used to work at this pet store, and he used to get up at like 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning to go and put up the truck. So he would actually go in, he would log everything in and put it up. So one night, I never sleep on my stomach, just to put this, like, to set the mood, okay? So it is nighttime, and when I'm sitting, like, right here is the couch, and it folds out this way, and I was laying with my head this way towards the front door. Well, that's the only door that you could get in and out of, other than when you walk this way, which is the kitchen, and then around is the bathroom, and then a door that goes into the main house, which no one ever uses. I mean, it was like you had to pry it open with the jaws of life to get this thing open, girl. Like, there was no sneaking in and out of that door. So anybody was coming in or out, it was from the front door, which my head was facing. Okay, so I usually lay on my side. I was laying on my stomach, and out of nowhere, I wake up and turn and look directly into the kitchen. Well, as soon as I do, for some reason, I see a man standing there, or a guy. I couldn't really tell their age or anything like that. And I was like, who is this? And so I see him, and he's wearing a flannel shirt. And I was like, what in the world? Who in the hell does Jarvis have in here, girl? So then I literally am looking, I'm like, what in the world? And so at first, okay, rewind. First, I thought it was Jarvis getting ready. Okay, first I thought it was, maybe it was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and he was getting dressed, okay? So I literally am looking, and I'm like, why is he getting dressed? And why is he wearing flannel? So then I hear him roll over in bed, because again, here's the couch. I'm here facing this way, and then I turn and look this way, which is the kitchen. He's over here in bed, and I hear him roll over, and I was like, oh, that's not him. Does he have trade over here, girl? So I look, and I see the guy bend down, pull up his jeans or pants, whatever it was, tuck in his shirt quickly, button, not like he was rushing, but he just was like, da-da-da, and then buttoned it, turned and took one step and was gone. And I was like, okay, he's got trade over here, and he's about to go out that door. Like, this is some crazy mess, girl. We didn't have this conversation. Don't be bringing folks over here. That's awkward. We're in the same room, girl. I ain't got time for all that. So, I mean, I'm a good actress, girl. I mean, y'all done seen when I pulled the stunt on y'all with Rich Lux, acting like we were mad at each other or something happened. But, girl, I can't act like I can't hear you in the same room. I just can't. So, he literally, like, I was like, Jarvis. He's like, what? I was like, Jarvis. He's like, what? I said, girl, do you have somebody here? And he's like, no. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yes, girl, I don't have anybody here. Why? And I said, I just saw somebody in the kitchen, and I saw them button their flannel shirt, tuck it in, and step away, and I have not heard them open the door yet. Can you go and check? I think somebody's in the house. This thing, when I tell you, this room was the size of a shoebox, girl, so it ain't like they had anywhere to go. So he gets up and goes to look. There's nothing there. So I get up and look around, and I'm like, there's no one here. No one here. Girl, it was a ghost. Okay, ghost down. Ghost down. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's my first ghost experience. The other one, I'm going to actually rewind all the way back to when I was in high school, and this is going to be a quick one, I promise. So I used to be friends with this girl named Ashley. We used to hang out all the time. And so her dad actually was a manager at a restaurant. So he would work a lot of hours. So I would come over there and hang out, and we would like, you know how it is when you're a teenager. You get in the car, you go drive, you burn gas and don't go anywhere. Play the music really loud and just hang out, all that kind of crap. Well, one night we come back to her house and the lights were on and no one had been there. And we turned them off because I left with her. All the lights were off. We show up, the door, they had, so like if you're looking at their house, right here is the front door, but right here is where it used to be a garage. They closed it in and added a glass door and a glass all the way across, so that way it was an extra room, like a bonus room. Well, that room, that glass, if you walked in, was like an extra living room. And then if you keep going up, they had like a little, like up 3 steps or something like that. And there was a little studio. And then there was a door to get out the back. Well, the door in the glass was completely open. The lights were on and the TV was on. Honey, and it was nighttime at this point. We were so nervous. We were so scared. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think somebody broke into your house. And I was like, should we call the cops? And she's like, no, like, I don't know, like, let me just, she goes, Justice, I didn't want to tell you this, but I think my house is haunted, and to be honest with you, this isn't the first time that this has happened. And I'm like, she's just so nonchalant about it. I'm like this. One more time. I was like, no, girl. So we literally get out and go into her house. I'm choking because I'm nervous again. It's got me shook, girl, shook. So I literally go in the house with her, and we noticed the back door was open. This thing had been painted shut. They haven't opened this door in so many years. It wasn't even funny. So you couldn't even, like, the deadbolt wouldn't even turn anymore. They were going to have to, like, saw it open to get it out eventually to change the door. Girl. Literally. Door was open. We go outside. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really think somebody like got in your house. Honey, I can support many people. But I said, girl, I gotta go. I said, I gotta go, girl. Because if somebody's in your house, I don't want to be here. So I actually walked with her the rest of the house to make sure that it was all good and it was buttoned up, everything was closed and locked and all that other stuff. I said, I want you to go in your room and I want you to bring the phone and I want you to call me so that way I can walk out and we're on the phone together. So if somebody's still in this house and we didn't see them and they get me, you can hear me die and then you can call the cops. If not, I'll stay on the phone with you when I get in the car, drive home. Well, my grandmother's house. I'll drive to my grandmother's house and we'll hang out, or I'll hang out and stay on the phone with you until your dad gets home. And it was going to be like late before her dad got home. Girl, I get in this car and I pull down the street a good 10 minutes and she's on the phone with me and she had a landline. How about somebody done picks up the phone and you can hear them breathing while she's talking? So like breathing the opposite of her breathing out, they're breathing in. So I knew it wasn't her. There was no one else in the house. She goes, Justice, I'm really scared because like I've been sitting in the bonus room, like the one that I said is the glass that used to be a garage. She said she was sitting down there a couple of times and where she could sit on the couch further down, if you look straight this way, it shows straight down a hallway which goes through the kitchen to the dining room. She goes, there's been numerous times that I've looked up and somebody is sitting at the dining room, but I'm at home alone. Girl. I said, I hear somebody on the phone. She goes, what? And when she says, what? I heard somebody go, like that. And I was like, oh shit, there's somebody in your house. Girl, she called the cops. She called her dad. Nobody was there. They ended up walking the whole house. No one was there. Nobody had been there. It was so crazy. So if you have a crazy ghost story, please tell me in the comments, what is the scariest thing that you've ever seen? I mean, when I tell you, my grandmother used to live next door to a cemetery and that used to freak me out, but I ended up never even seeing anything happen over there. The only thing for me that freaked me out is I had seen that movie, Return of the Living Dead, the really old one that's supposed to be like, it's listed under comedy. Girl, I wasn't laughing. I remember sleeping in my grandmother's floor in her room because I was scared to sleep in another room by myself because I was scared they were going to come through the glass or come through the house without me knowing. Like, it used to freak me out. But that was a cemetery. I mean, I ended up learning how to drive in the cemetery parking lot. So, I mean, like, I never saw anything for that. But today, the other things, there was no denying it, girl. There was no denying it whatsoever. But again, I want to know your ghost stories. Put it in the comments. I don't care if it's long. I'm going to read them. You know I read every single comment you put on there, and I comment on everything. So let me know what's up. Let me tell you this right now. It don't matter how scared, shook, or hair standing up and tingling, girl. Even a ghost can't dictate how you gonna feel tomorrow, girl. So you cannot have an amazing tomorrow until you fix your mindset today. Thank you so much for joining me. Do you like the makeup look? I don't think we even talked about it. We didn't even address this mug. But guess what? Your happiness is all about changing your mindset, and changing your mindset is the key to success. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, share. Please send it to your friends. I need some more folks, girl. We need to make a lot of Taylor-tots, girl. I'm plus size and it takes a lot of carbs to fill a girl up. Love you so much. Mwah!